Good evening. I'd like to welcome you guys once again to another edition of the Foul Playland. As always, I'm your foul player, and your brother, as in me, has been lacking. Haven't made content in a minute. Uh, Not that it's a necessity. I'm pretty sure you guys made on okay without me, but I'm glad to be back. The couple times I do come back, man, like shit just gets in the way, bro. Like the and a lot of times, even if I say I'm like committed to doing shit, bro, like it's just stuff happens and things get in the way of things, and but and it sucks too because I mean so much is happening, which kind of like gives me validation, a lot of other people validation about this Errol Spence thing. So much has happened and is happening now at this current juncture, where I mean like it's a softball for me to be making content about Errol Spence. Like it's like you throwing me a beach ball in my living room. Um, and the beach ball has helium, and you're telling me to catch it before it lands on the ground. You know, these are easy. It's very easy. It's easy route, i.e., Errol Spence. Um, I wanted to mess with something else too, as far as like trying to read the comments, if any do come like off the TV. I know a lot of dudes are like shook. I'm not gonna say shook. I mean, like, because that's kind of like degrading. But I know some people are like have trepidation to comment on other people's shit, i.e., me. But if anybody, or if you feel anybody's giving you any sort of hard time for coming through to my channel or coming through to anybody's channel, even to somebody's channel I don't like I am ill will. If somebody's giving you a hard time, like for going on anybody else's shit, bro, like tell them to go piss off. Like, I'm trying not to curse this video, but tell them to piss off, kick rocks. You could listen to whoever you want. You can have any opinion you want. I mean, like just a couple months ago, you may have been fully locked in with the whole Errol Spence thing, and Errol Spence is trying to make this fight. Da 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 da. Like, you may have been, and you may have been arguing with dudes online about that whole shit, only for your favorite content creators and to either A, like talk about this Errol Spence issue a lot differently than they were 2 months ago, or B, like for your favorite content creators to not cover these issues that have been going on with Errol Spence of late, all these evasive actions. I mean, and your favorite content creator, I'm pretty sure, is saying zero about this Errol Spence Bud Crawford fight. Because I mean, what's to see, bro? Like nobody's talking about that shit, and I'm not even hating. I mean, if you want to call me a Errol Spence PBC hater, I'll take that. No biggie. My bad, bro. There's like a candle right next to some shit I put on the table. But if you want to call me or my perspective, that of the perspective of an Errol Spence hater or PBC hater, you go ahead and do that. I mean, like, but I'm not saying that I was doing some next level shit as far as prediction, like that Errol Spence is gonna be evasive. Nah, I ain't do. I mean, it's not like I'm the only cat saying that. Other cats were saying they're heavy. Just as much as me, or before me, maybe me a lot more than me. I mean, I'm not gonna say just as much as me because I don't need to come on YouTube like that, but a lot more than me. And you may have thought like these content creators that were giving Errol Spence a little bit of a hard time on YouTube were raccoons or sellouts or whatever have you. And now at least you got to show them a little bit of respect, or at least you got to reconsider your position. If you're in the position that Errol Spence is doing all these things, like these world-class things, and that the promise of a Bud fight was just around the corner after he does what? After he does Porter, after he fought Danny Garcia, after he fought Mikey, that date for you and maybe like some of your favorite content creators, or like had to change the date, like as to when they thought Errol would fight Bud. It kept getting pushed back, I mean, he kept chasing for belts, and then like out of nowhere, he takes 2 detours and fights 2 Latin cats in Mikey Garcia and Danny Garcia for no belt, for no reason, really. I mean, like and even the Mikey Garcia thing. I mean, oh, that was a big money fight. No, it wasn't. That was a big money fight for his standards, maybe somewhat by today's standards, but that wasn't no big money fight. To put down a legacy fight that would make you more money, but people are now seeing what it is. And of course, there's other people that are still fronting. But I mean, hopefully, I mean, it's not that kind of party. I'm not trying to beef for nobody. I mean, if you got drama with me like over some boxing shit, I mean, that's on you. But I got no drama with nobody. But hopefully, I mean, more of you guys start seeing what it is. It's not rocket science, and these dudes ain't paying you. And if they are paying you, bro, I could if you need bread, bro, like to front on yourself. I don't think that these boxers or these camps or certain boxing communities online weren't getting hit off big time by these promoters, if that's even true. I don't think that's not true, but say if it was, how much could they could these promoters or these fighters, how much could they have broken you off with? At most, as a whole group, even like maybe 10 racks. Come on, bro, 10 racks. Like that like, I mean, if you gotta lie for a combined total of 10 racks, I mean, I'll give you the fucking 10 racks. I won't, but that's not a crazy amount of money. I mean, like, but you're over here like lying, making channels, like telling other people online you got to be on code with this Errol Spence thing. Um, damn, these glasses look corny as fuck, bro. These look like some Oakley white boy shits. But telling people online they on code because God forbid they have a negative opinion on Errol Spence. I mean, if you were doing that, I mean, and you were getting paid off for it, how much pay could they have been giving you? At most, $100 here and there. Is it worth it though? I mean, are you gonna front like that bad, like for years and years and years, like for money? And I mean, like, my conclusion is that there was probably no money that exchanged hands. That shit was done just off GP. That shit was just done like where a lot of these cats took that position because there was a rumor that Bud didn't give the brothers interviews or whatever have you. Just whack ass excuses. I mean, like, excuses that, I mean, if you're holding it against somebody for I mean, what? A half decade? You're holding it against Bud that he ain't give y'all an interview in fucking the 90s? Come on. But I think that a lot of these cats were doing this shit free of charge. As far as capping online, like as far as like boxing organizations here on YouTube, capping online for Errol Spence or choosing to not see what was directly in their face when it came to Errol Spence. But you know what? At the end of the day, bro, like you're not like an enemy to me. If you come around and like step into the light, in 2022, bro, the year just started, bro. You're Gucci. New year, new gear. But if you're gonna keep pushing the same shit, I mean, I have no contention against anybody, but my shit may not really correlate with the story you're pushing. And I mean, like, that may create some conflict, but I'm not gonna shy away from it. I mean, you could line up 40 of you motherfuckers like somewhere. I mean, like, there's no beef like that. But I've never ran from shit like in real life. I'm not gonna run away from giving an opinion online like a lot of other cats are known to do. And I'm saying, like, and I'm talking like this, not about the payola thing. I haven't heard nothing about no payola or dudes giving bread to boxing dudes on, like, YouTube cats online and all that shit. Like, I haven't heard no legit rumor about that. I haven't heard any rumor about that. I'm not gonna make one up. I'm just saying, like, as an arbitrary thing, if dudes were getting bread off of giving coverage to PBC off of or pushing certain fighters, and those dudes are still fronting now, and you still gotta hold the bag and like push a fake narrative. I mean, is it worth it? I mean, like and especially, and this is more talking to other channels because there's a lot of channels that I love on YouTube that are completely fronting. Um, do I still listen to a lot of those channels? I mean, here and there, I'll drop in whatever, but I can just see it in those channels' faces at times. Like they're cringing inside themselves, like thinking like fucking, how the hell am I gonna like try to churn up some shit today, or like or how to what different little stat could I bring up to try to make Errol look good today, or what negotiation bullshit could I bring up today, like to try to take a little bit of attention away from the evasive shit that Errol Spence is doing. It's getting harder and harder, bro. And at the end of the day, it ain't no drama with none of these channels. Ultimately, bro, like fucking and I hope that you guys um get up off that bullshit. I mean, start spitting the real. What's today? The 11th of January, 2022. You're Gucci, bro. And motherfuckers will probably forget that you were fronting for the better part of a couple years. And this is not directed at anybody in particular. I mean, I have a few people in mind that I could be that when I'm saying that, but I mean, figure it out yourself. But over the weekend that I made a video too, but I mean this happened before the weekend. That Tim Scott guy, I think his name is from PBC. And I'm gonna mention something too that's extremely corny. Um, I think I mentioned that he was like a president or some shit in the video. I ain't say that shit like in the title, but then like a few cats reached out to me online, like, oh, he's not really a president. I'm like, bro, I'm a fat Puerto Rican dude doing this shit from the lab. Like, I don't got like I'm not a reporter, bro. Like fucking or like I don't have to say reportedly or like who gives a shit, bro. Like dudes out here say legit lies, like on YouTube. Go question them cats, bro. Like what it is, bro. Like I don't see a lot of these, like cats. Like I mean, I hope that it happens behind the scenes. Like I mean, cats reached out to me behind the scenes about like things that I titled wrong or whatever the hell. But go reach out to other content creators with that, man. Like because these dudes been wrong for the better part of half a decade. I mean, I don't create stories out of thin air like a lot of other cats do. On wax recently too. Like I mean, months ago. I don't create stories out of thin air like just off GP, like to try to defend a 30-year-old. I shit on most 30-year-olds or cats that are younger, like just because that's what it is, bro. Like fucking, I'm a veteran to these guys. Like fucking, fucking, like you got like, but for these content creators who are way older than me at times, 50, fucking, way more established than me, especially on YouTube. Here like perpetuating BS. It's good to see a little bit of them coming around a little bit, but I think a lot of these channels like that have defended Spence, 2 or 3 years and have made that commitment that I'm not gonna say anything negative about Errol Spence, regardless of what it is. Like those channels that have dug their heels in that way, their criticism of Errol Spence on January 11th, 2021, is them saying, like, oh, Errol got to make this fight next. You know what I'm saying? Like that's their criticism, and even that I could take because you weren't even getting that a lot of times. Like, maybe you'd get, oh well, the fight everybody wants to see is Bud Crawford, but like but then you make a bunch of content like sort of shitting on Bud for the better part of half a decade and making it seem like he ain't worth shit. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking but for them to like their position of being neutral or their position of being critical of Errol Spence is basically saying that Errol Spence got to take this fight. This is a legacy fight for Errol Spence. But I could totally see a lot of these channels switching it up if Errol Spence decides on fighting a fucking mandatory or some shit, or Errol Spence decides on fighting Keith Thurman after he beats Ugas. I can see a lot of channels fronting like, oh yeah, well Keith Thurman's a good fight, and Spence-Crawford is like just too hard headed, like stupid shit, bro. Like, and it is what it is, bro. I expect that 100%. Like I think more channels or more people here on YouTube, like the people in the chats and whatnot, are going to be more along the lines of I mean, honestly, if they dug their heels in, they'll probably still maintain that position. But I think a couple of you cats will start to trickle over, not to me, to like fucking trickle over to the thought of that Errol Spence is not walking on water here. Like Errol Spence is fronting a great deal. And I mean, like, so long as you guys see that, bro, it is what it is, bro. Like, and and I know a lot of the cats that come through here, like at the, like are brothers, but Bud Crawford's a brother. A lot of these dudes will be like, "Oh yeah, Ugas is the brother too," and I'm glad, like, the brother's getting a shot. Like, bro, when did Ugas go out there and like do any brother shit, like fucking, or when did you like go seek out like some fucking Afro-Cuban cats or just Cuban cats? Because Cuban cats would never call themselves Afro-Cuban, and I've fucking encountered Cuban cats many times here in New York and fucking in Cuba, in Florida. Like a lot of my friends out there are fucking Cuban cats. I've never once heard a cat call himself Afro-Cuban cats. Cats that are fucking legit, like my brother Black, like fucking But if it comes to like fucking trying to shit on Bud, then all of a sudden Ugas becomes a brother. I wouldn't be surprised if fucking if Errol fought Canelo and then fucking some of these cats trying to tell you that Canelo by way of Mexico or some shit is a brother too. But it is what it is with these cats, bro. Like, like, and these dudes don't come legit, and it's not like these channels are the enemy, because they're really not. Like, I mean, like a lot of times, like, I mean, if they just back the fuck down, I mean, like, or God forbid, like, say, like Errol Spence, like what it is, like fucking you've been doing this shit for a couple of years, we still ain't getting no fight, like put your nuts on the table, bro. Let's make this thing pop off. For one or two of you cats to start converting over, like content creators, some of you guys like that are in the chats at times, I think that's a miracle in itself, and that will get us this fight faster than a lot of these other channels that eat dick, that eat their favorite boxer's dick, that eat Errol Spence dick, like fucking pause. Because a lot of these channels are basically committed to telling a cat that has some really, really regular ass endeavors, like Errol Spence, that he's the greatest shit going. Like, and at the end of the day, bro, like, a lot of this shit too, bro, like fucking like it like as far as writing, like for the brothers, this ain't the way to do it, bro. And I don't give a fuck what I look like, bro. Like fucking you got an issue with me, like saying what it is, like fucking in relation to shit to do with brothers, you reach out to me, like, and we see what's up. But fucking as far as pushing the brothers forward in boxing, I mean, there's a good chance that Errol Spence could lose to Terrence Bud Crawford and vice versa. But I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, you have two factions shitting on each other. Especially like one faction that really shits on Bud Crawford, regardless of what he does, calling him a slave, putting fucking pictures with white bitches next to him. You know what I'm saying? Like those dudes, I mean, like I can't see them no matter what happens. Like cats that do shit like that, I can't see these dudes like backing off of Errol Spence or bigging up Errol Spence at every chance. I can't see them do that, regardless if Errol Spence got beat by some fucking by an 18-year-old cat. Like they'd be like, oh, the 18-year-old cat fucking like poisoned him or some shit, and his dad's like in the KKK or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking But meanwhile, like these dudes at the end of the day, like these dudes that have dug their heels in, if Bud Crawford goes in there and whoops on fucking Errol, could I see these cats like giving him his just due? No. I mean, it just happened with Porter. Like, I mean, these cats were blown up. The Porter and Bud got to fight. Porter and Bud got to fight. I mean, and then same night, these cats are saying that like fucking Bob Arum paid Kenny Porter bread, and like it was a bullshit stoppage. Like there was no credit for Bud at the end of the day. I mean, it pretty much gained them zero in the eyes of these cats that have been shitting on him. Like, now, do I expect those cats that have dug their heels in to stop shitting on him in the future? Like, if Bud Crawford does whatever, if Bud Crawford saves some kids from a fucking burning building in the BX, and I mean, rest in peace to those people that died in that high rise fire in the Bronx. I said high rise in quotes because that shit looked like a project. But could Bud Crawford gain any favorable or like coverage from a lot of these cats? Doubt it. Highly, highly doubt it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what we got right now, bro. Like, and at the end of the day, bro, too, and I'm not pessimistic, bro. Like, because in my eyes, I've told you before for the better part of a year plus that Bud and Errol Spence aren't gonna fight. I mean, you're hearing these like the rumor, which I'm gonna get into in a minute, about Bud trying to negotiate with PBC, like, to make this fight maybe over the weekend. Who the fuck knows? I mean, that could be a rumor. Like, I mean, I've heard it from a few different people, namely from channels. I've heard it on Bushido Boxing. He heard it from CJ Goodfellow, I think. But then I think he said that he got a source that kind of confirmed what CJ Goodfellow had said. And the rumor was that these dudes were trying to like lowball Bud Crawford, and he like walked out of or his team walked out of a meeting with PBC. So I mean, like, that just further validates what I'm telling you, bro. Like, this fight ain't gonna happen. Period. But I mean, if this fight doesn't happen, all these guys that have dug their heels in, and all these cats on YouTube that could give Bud no credit, they're just gonna do the same shit. They're just gonna pile all the shit on Bud Crawford, and when Errol Spence, continues his career and gets battered by Canelo at 175, like fucking, where he got to move up in weight to fight Canelo. I mean, it's just a wasted era of boxing. But you know what? At the end of the day, like, and this is where my pessimism lies. I am pessimistic on the fact that we're not going to get Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence. But I've seen fucking Joey. I've seen with these eyes, like, fucking fights that were way better than Errol Spence. Whatever Errol Spence and Porter, and Bud Crawford could do in the ring, I've already seen fights that were with that were way better than that. So I'm good. But a lot of these cats that like just started watching boxing, like, or a lot of these cats that came on YouTube to make friends, or boxing friends, like, I mean, like, y'all cats are gonna have to like continue to keep talking about oh well, like, this fight didn't happen because Porter was, Bomac didn't want to let Errol Spence in the ring. Errol Spence heard Bomac telling him, you can't come into this ring, and that's why that fight never. I mean, like, you're gonna be telling your kids that in 2030. Some of you cats, like, that just started watching boxing, the best fight of all time in your eyes is probably gonna be like, oh, Fury versus Wilder, like 1 or some shit, or 3. I mean, like, and I'm not shitting on like cats that started watching boxing after me. I mean, because there's cats that have watched boxing for 5 years that know way more about the sport than I do. Like, that follow people's Instagrams and Twitters and all that shit. I don't have time for a lot of that stuff. Or there's people that know boxing history way more than I do too. And shout out to you, Sports Talk. I'm sorry. Damn, what the fuck is that doing? With all that slander that Crawford has gone through in social media, do you think that it has tainted this fight? No, but I think that it's in a large part stopping the fight from happening. I think that people that like Errol Spence don't give him the pressure to fight the best fights. I mean, and the thing is too that they're gonna tell you, oh well, he's fighting all these guys, and those are nice fights. Well, people were shitting on Mayweather and Pacquiao fighting way better fights than Errol Spence has ever fought, while they were waiting to fight each other. They were fighting the Maidanas of the world, They were fighting the Claudies of the world, the Margaritos, you know. So, like, I think that during that time, while Mayweather and Pacquiao were waiting to fight each other, while they were fighting other people, making big time money. I mean, a lot of people were still giving them a lot of pressure. Manny's fans were giving them a lot of pressure. Um, Mayweather's fans were giving them a lot of pressure. The problem is that I don't think Bud has a big fan base like these people say. Like, he doesn't have a diehard fan base like Errol Spence does. Errol Spence has what you would now call Errolsexuals or man fans. Errol Spence has a lot of those. There's a lot of people that like Errol Spence probably because they think, pause, that he's cute. Like, so I mean, they're not gonna revert from that. They're not gonna you know they're gonna maybe hide their feminine feelings behind the fact that they think that Errol Spence is the goods like that. So I don't see those cats or a lot of cats. And these are the extreme Errol Spence fans, but the extreme Errol Spence fans talk all kinds of reckless online, and the standard Errol Spence fan would never check him. The extreme Errol Spence fan will call Errol Spence a slave and all this stuff. I never see other Errol Spence fans jumping on and saying, "Oh well, chill, chill." That's a brother too. Like, but that's what you got. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's here on YouTube or on these boxing fan bases. But I mean, if they gave more pressure, I think the fight gets made. But if at this current juncture, I don't think that the fight gets made. I mean, but as far as the slander goes, like Sports Talk, I think that the slander, like it did with Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, I think it helps the fight. But I just don't think that this fight that we're talking about, Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford, which is 10 times smaller than Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather, I just don't think that this fight gets made. I agree with EJ fans aren't holding him to the fire. Reminds me of when I played Madden 99 just to win and pad stats. That's what it feels like in this situation. As long as EJ wins, he's good with fans. Yeah, I mean, like, it's honestly like there's a very I think life in general. I don't know if I'm getting old. Life in general now, it's very blah. Like, fucking people like just accept whatever. Like, the fact that there's cats that are my age that still listen to hip hop of today, like fucking these rappers that have like numbers after their name and shit like that, or NBA fucking whoever the hell, like, the fact that those cats like went through, the mid 90s or and listen to hip hop then and give it just as much credence as the dudes that are rapping now. I mean, like, it's just that life in general, I think people are just willing to accept a lot more dumb shit now than they would back in the day. I remember somebody told me, I don't want to put his name out there, fucking, cause I don't get along with this person's family anymore. But he said that he was at the Trinidad Bernard Hopkins, like the weigh-in where Bernard Hopkins, like I don't know if it was the weigh-in or not, but where Bernard Hopkins threw the Puerto Rican down, like on the floor, like fuck, like he smacked it out of Trinidad's hands. Like, I know people back then that were like trying to basically like murk the dude, just because of that, like that were in the crowd that day, like that were plotting and trying to find the ways to get to B Hop. And not for nothing, B Hop, like, that's kind of like when I became a B Hop fan. I'm Puerto Rican, but everything's like, including this sport, especially this sport, it's just very bland. It's ass cheeks. You have a lot of these dudes that have no character to them. Like, there's just something very weird going on with this sport right now. I just can't really put my finger on it. Like, well, who knows? But as far as that rumor goes, with Team PBC and with Bud Crawford's camp, or Bud Crawford that supposedly just happened. See, the thing is, too, and I'm reporting this story, even though it's a rumor. One, again, because I don't give a shit. I don't have to have like fucking go dig up through sources. I'm not a reporter. I'm not writing a college paper. But two, uh, dudes on YouTube are constantly making up fake stories. Three, um, could I see this negotiation playing out the way that they're saying it's played out? Absolutely. It's being played out on fucking YouTube in the same exact fashion every day. Like as far as Errol Spence's fan base, maybe, or Errol Spence himself throwing out an arbitrary number where Bud Crawford is getting less than him. Reportedly, that number was 70-30 in this meeting. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, like, would I put it past it? No. And before I even get on to that, listen, like, with I was just gonna make a point too, man. I'm losing my short-term memory. But oh, that's what I was gonna say. If the rumor is the other way, and like there was a rumor that Top Rank signed Bud Crawford and Bud Crawford team made a 70-30 offer to Errol Spence, where it would favor Errol Spence, and Errol Spence walked out of the meeting or some shit, or his peoples walked out of the meeting. If it oh no, I'm sorry. If it was a rumor that made Errol Spence look good, these cats online would be running with it. So I could run with this one, and like honestly, it sounds legit because it sounds like pretty much everything that's come out of Errol Spence's mouth since this Bud Crawford saga started. A lot of bullshit, a lot of fronting, a lot of economics. You know, you ain't hear shit about economics when it came to Ugas. You didn't even know that the Ugas fight was happening. From my thoughts, I mean, Ugas was going to fight some other cat, you know, and then all of a sudden, pew, you know, Errol Spence is fighting him. Reported, I mean, not reportedly. I mean, if Ugas and that other cat were going to fight, then naturally, I mean, you expect that other cat had to get some step aside money. So these dudes went above and beyond to pay some other cat step aside money, all to not fight Bud. Like you ain't hear no like long drawn out shit with Ugas. You ain't hear no long drawn out shit with Danny Garcia. You ain't hear no long drawn out shit with Sean Porter. Sean Porter reportedly got 50% from PBC. Mikey Garcia reportedly got 50%. Danny Garcia got 60% with no belt, with a couple of losses already. But when it comes to Bud Crawford, these dudes act brand new. It's always this extra shit, you know. Then mentioning the economics of it now, like all of a sudden with Bud Crawford. I mean, and it's been going on for years, like on YouTube, the economics of it all. But now, I mean, like reportedly, if this rumor is true, which I mean, am I going to discount this rumor being true? No. But reportedly, these dudes were offering less than what these cats online are saying. But now some of these cats online, not content creators, because some of the content creators that have dug in with Team Spence, they're not even reporting any of this stuff. But some of these cats online are running around saying, "Oh, well, you see, Bud should have took the 40% when he had the chance. Now it's 30." No, dipshit. You should be saying like, you know, at the end of the day, Bud ain't gonna accept 40%. What do we got to do to change that? Like, Errol Spence got to change what he's asking for. I mean, if not, I mean, like in my eyes, the fight's not gonna be made. I'm cool with it. But Errol Spence is in the way. I don't care if this whole generation of boxing goes into the toilet. It's already in the toilet. If it gets flushed down, I don't give two shits. One bit. But if we could completely tear down this era of boxing and like really have these boxers come at us in 2030 with their hats in hand, like, yo, who do you want me to fight? And just give me 50 grand or some shit. Like, I think we'd be better off for it. I don't care about taking care of boxing fighters from here on out. Like, these dudes played us, bro. These dudes really played us. And I never did really care. I mean, like, I thought it was a shame when boxers are broke, of course. When a boxer's punch drunk, I mean, that's a terrible thing to see. But that shit ain't my problem, bro. What the fuck? I mean, like literally, I fucking slept on the train, bro. Like fucking for over a month, homeless. Like fucking you think I give a shit like that? A boxer like can't buy a fucking an F-250 when he retires because he wants to look cool? Like fucking no, fuck him. I mean, I don't wish this shit on boxers, but I mean, you want me to start paying? Then do shit that I find admirable. Like I'm not gonna go into Dave and Buster's like fucking just to look at the machines and shit, and like people charge me at the door. I mean, but if I go to a club, like fucking I know I gotta pay. Like I'm and going to a free club, you already know it's whack. I mean, there's gonna be herbs there. But if I want like to listen to dope music and see lights and broads, like fucking, I know I gotta pay for the benefit of it. But these dudes now are paying you to go to Dave and Buster's, like fucking, or like to enter Dave and Buster's and not eat, and then charge you for the food and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I hope that we take down this whole boxing shit. And as far as the boycotting or stealing this fight, whatever you want to call it, do it. You know, oh, we can't boycott. Like, bro, I don't care what you call it. Just don't pay for fights. It's not a big political statement. You're not cool whether you pay for the fights. You're a lot cooler though if you don't pay for the fights, in my eyes. Not that much cooler. But we just need to really put these boxes in check. Because right now, I mean, like, are you getting what's worth? Like, are you getting bang for your buck at this current juncture? Hell's no. You know, so whatever it takes. I mean, if you feel that you have to, i.e., boycott this fight by streaming fights. I mean, if you want to call it that, fantastic. Um, hey, D Style, thank you for coming through. Damn, celebrating Christmas still, bro. I'm Latin, bro. This tree don't come down till St. Patty's Day, bro. Y se celebraron los tres reyes recientemente, bro. What do you think? South Pizzy, what up, bro? And please subscribe to D Style Boxing and to Southpaw 773 TV. But as whatever it takes. Yeah, I know that was the 6th. I don't celebrate that shit, bro. Like, but I do celebrate fucking Hispanic procrastination. This tree ain't coming down for a while. But whatever it takes. I mean, if you want to call it a boycott, like that's fine by me. You know what I'm saying? If you want to call it a if you want to call it streaming, whatever have you. I mean, like somebody online is gonna try to guilt trip you into like well, like, oh, you're doing a boycott because you hate on like whoever, or like you're doing it like you're doing I'll put the link out there right now, South P. You're doing a boycott because you're trying to hate on the bros, or you're trying like, nah, it ain't that kind of party, bro. And the thing is too, I mean, like, if you're trying to like pay for all these fights, or you're the anti me, you're the opposite political party of my like stealing fights, then actually Southpaw, hit me up on the text, bro, because last time some other dude front like he was you, and then I think he was trying to do something fresh on my channel. But what was I saying? As if you want to be the if you're the opposite of me and you actually are paying for these fights, I mean, and you have to, or if you're like a PBC guy and like PBC's looking out for the brothers and stuff, so automatically, I mean, anything that you say anti-PBC is an affront to all the brothers worldwide. Like, I mean, then where were you brothers paying for this Luis Ortiz fight or for the Gervonta Davis fight? I know I devoted, and I actually heard the fight call on YouTube until I got to the cribs because I was in the whip. But once I got to the whip, that fight was being watched from my phone with other people in the house while I was getting text. Who cares? But but if you want to continue to pay for fights, or if you're one of these people online that making us think as to why I'm boycotting fights or why I'm saying that I'm boycotting fights, I mean, like, where the hell are you with all these other fights that are happening now? Like, show me that you've paid for a fight in 2021. I mean, it's not like a power move. Like, oh wow, you spent $75. Like, I'm not saying it like you're gonna floss on me. Like, I'm just saying it like, I don't think, if we're being candid, that you're paying for fights either, and that's okay. And listen, this is applicable to any fighter, bro. Like, there's no Puerto Rican boppers right now that are even near pay per view, but steal their shit too. Teofimo Lopez is from my neighborhood, bro. Steal his shit. I don't care, bro. Like, I'm not here to defend any of these fighters, right? And it's not like that this is gonna be forever, but boxing needs to be reset. Period. And it's not like boxing needs to be reset for me to go pay in the future. I mean, if they want me to pay in the future, I'm not. But if you want to convince others to pay in the future, you got to give them shit that's worth it. You can't keep squeezing every dime out of these fight fan relics that are running around here nowadays, i.e., me. I have one foot in the grave, bro. Like, you're not trying to win me over, like, and try to get me to buy shit. You got to get my son to buy shit. And I'm telling you right now, I've tried everything I can to watch my to make my son watch fights, and he's never liked fights. I mean, or he watches a heavyweight fight here and there, but it's just a hard sport right now to really get dudes riveted up. Yo, Pete, I don't know if you called me last time, bro, but send me a text. That way I know it's you, so I can send you the link. Because some other cat like fruit on it last time, and he had the picture and everything, bro. But and this might be the cat that was fronting too, bro. I don't know how to check right now. Like while I'm on YouTube, I already told you guys that I'm not technically proficient. But if that's you, bro, hit me on my text, bro. But and and at the end of the day, man, I mean, if we take this whole thing down, like boxing as is currently running right now, I mean, we'll be way better for it. Little Dirk is a sellout. He's the real one. I seen him on there. You seen him on where, bro? Like, and I'm not even talking to you, my man. Like, yo, let him answer for it, bro. Like, he's the real one. And I'm not disrespecting you, bro, but like, I like these other dudes are running around like fronting like or trolling on channels and shit. Like, and troll all you want on this channel or comment all you want. I don't give a shit. Even if it's insulting me, I'm not gonna block you or none of that shit. But I don't like, my not no, it's not no diss to you. Little Dirk is a sellout. But I don't have the technical know-how, bro. Dead ass. Like, I mean, like the fact that I'm even doing anything on YouTube is a fucking, like, I feel like I'm Steve Jobs or some shit. Like I, it's too easy to do some troll job on me because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But it is what it is with this YouTube. I mean, with YouTube boxing right now, and like, one thing that I love seeing right now, bro, like, and the thing is too, man, like I love YouTube boxing too. Like, I may bitch about YouTube boxing. I love YouTube boxing more than I fucking love boxing right now. Like, I love people talking about past fights because it just brings me back to like being a teenager and all this shit. Like, fucking and I actually, if D Style still on here, there was actually a moment that I remember from back in the day, like where I actually heard when he actually mentioned it, but I actually remember seeing it on regular TV, like where Morales cursed at Homeboy that he fought 3 times when he said pierdo contra cualquiera menos a ese hijo de puta, like, and I was a little kid when that happened, and that just brings, like, so I love YouTube boxing. Like, I love like hearing cats talk about the sport, like, but right now, a lot of these cats on YouTube boxing and a lot of the fans think that this is the best we could get. Like this is the, this is just what it is. And it's really not. It's really not. Like we were like it's and honestly, like the Don King days were a lot better than these days, sure. But do I think that Don King or what Don King was doing was the peak of boxing or what the peak capability of what boxing could be? Hell's no, bro. I think we could be way better than that. Right now, there's limitless access, bro. You could literally like follow anybody you want if they put their shit out there all fucking day. You know what I'm saying? Like, but these dudes, but but if it's not netting you anything like in the fights, and on top of that, when these cats that box have like zero personality, zero. Like very rare is the cat that got personality nowadays. And the cats that do have personality that box, people shit on them. Honestly, Tyson Fury got personality. Everybody shits on him. Tiafimo got personality, and I'm not capping for him because he's from Sunset Park. Tiafimo got personality. Everybody shits on him. Who else? AB got personality. Everybody shits on him, and that's actually okay. It's not like but why I block you, bro? I don't even know how to block anybody, bro. How do you block somebody? Let me see. I'm not gonna block you. I just want to see if that. I don't think I blocked you, bro. Unless you, but nah, homie. I don't think I blocked you, bro. I know how to remove comments, but like, and I just want boxing to be back, like to where, like, you know, like the older days. I just don't want to relish on like talking on old boxing anymore either. Like, because after a while it becomes disinteresting. Like it becomes disinteresting for cats that like didn't live through that era. Like, because I thought that like the era that was before my era of boxing was whack, but the era that was before my era was 1,000 times better than my era. You and Southpaw are sellouts. I don't know who I'm a sellout to, but brother, I've given my real name on this format. I've given out where I hang out at on this format. I've given out what else? Did I give out the crew that I was with on this format? I probably haven't. But oh yeah, that is the troll Southpaw. Why y'all shit? Like what is it with me, bro? I ain't do shit to y'all fucking herbs, bro. Like fucking trolls coming on my shit, bro. I must be doing something right. But go fuck with the next dude, bro. Like I ain't do shit to y'all dudes, bro. Like fucking, I don't know why y'all here. But and I'm pretty sure that boxing update FE guy is the same dude as the not real Southpaw account. But it don't gotta be this way like as we're running right now. And back in the day, there was tons of countries that had great fighters too, bro. Like fucking England always had good fighters. Mexico was churning out good fighters. PR was churning out good fighters. But like now it's like fucking I mean America is sort of losing its grip as far as heavyweight division, but especially heavyweight, which kind of sucks. I mean, because you can't argue that there's a better athlete than the American man, period, than the Black American man. And I pinpointed there's no better athlete than the Midwest Black American man. And I'm not from the Midwest or Black. You know what I'm saying? But like, I mean, we have lost our position in a sense. And it's probably not even based on quality. It's probably based on how the sport is formatted right now. Like where everything's business, but this sport is not even big money like that. Like my man, like fucking a couple years ago, there was fights that stopped the world. Like Manny had a few fights where every barber, like you go into the barber shop and they were talking about it. Like the clubs were empty until the fight like ended. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not happening now. when I was in when I went to Philly to visit my man's the night that Pacquiao and Oscar De La Hoya fought, and fit like the area of Philly that I went, it was like Lily White, Philadelphia. But I went to a bar in that area. I think the bar was like called McFadden's, and I think they and I know that because they have one like they have those other places like in the East Coast, but it's like a white like a Buffalo Wild Wings with music, like but it's like white guy music. But when I went to that bar at first, I forgot that De La Hoya and or I kind of like put it behind me like that they were fighting that night. And when I went to that bar that day, it was like pretty empty. And I remember like right after the fight was done, that shit packed. But you think that's gonna happen with fucking Errol Spence versus Ugas, or you think that's gonna happen with Bud versus Keith Thurman, like where dudes are gonna be talking about that shit in the barbershop or like not want to eat because they're so excited? Absolutely not. There's no fight right now that gets me like that. Zero. And I'm sorry, like I mean, like there's no Canelo fight really that I want to see, even with Charlo. I mean, if it were at 160, yeah. But I mean, like if and even then, it's like I don't know if he's gonna try like some weight stuff, like. But and I'm pessimistic about the way things are, but I'm optimistic about what I'm seeing, like as far as like cats on online. Like there were a lot of cats online that like recently that were only going to like LDBC channels and now are going other places. And I had to check somebody yesterday on CZA channel for trying to fuck with somebody for that same reason. Like, cause it's not that kind of party, bro. You could listen to whoever the fuck you want on YouTube, bro. It don't matter, bro. Like, as long as it's not kid fuckers, like fucking we're straight, bro. You know, but boxing, like when it went into this little dead area that we're in right now, like a lot of the corny shit started with it, like in boxing fandom and boxing YouTube. And hopefully, I mean, like if we crush the sport now and bring it to his knees, when that sport rises again, it'll be far better, I think. And step one into crushing the sport and squeezing until it's on his knees is stop paying for these fights. Like these pay-per-view numbers are used as a barrier to not make fights. And that shit ain't right. But let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I'm gonna try to come on regularly, bro. Like, but I just finished watching a few shows, like fucking, cause I'm fucking bored as shit lately. I ain't gonna front. But and I got other shit to do around the cribs, like too. I forgot what the fuck I was doing yesterday. But oh yeah, I gotta install like a new fence and all this corny shit, like, and I gotta fix my yard, which I'm gonna try to do myself. But I can't be coming out here like fucking all the time. As much as fun it would be to like lick shots at fucking I Mill Will and fucking Mr. Shelton, or fucking as much fun it is sometimes to like lick shots at like fucking some of these corny channels, but real life does get in the way of shit. Like fucking sometimes real life is just fucking me parlaying here straight up. Like fucking it's too cold. Like it's and they really ain't shit going on in the sport anyway. That I'm gonna be coming on to YouTube. Besides like bitch, I'll come on here to bitch all the time, and that's because the sport's whack right now. But I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Whether you're a troll, like whether you got love for the kid, whether you hate on the kid, doesn't matter. Like fucking but I am glad you're here. But that's the one, like but that, and before wanted to make sure that I reiterate that point in the victory that I do see it, as far as like cats going onto platforms that may not necessarily get along with certain communities, or cats from certain communities jumping onto other platforms. Bro, it should be that way from Jump Street, bro, especially if it's other like black platforms, like, and you're beefing with other black cats over some boxes, bro. Get out of here, bro. Like that shit is dead, bro. And like at this point, I mean, if we talk truthfully, not Errol Spence the truth. Like if we talk like with real like with just straight up like and talk how shit should be, or like saying how shit is, like saying things that, or leaving situations like where it is what it is, but then I think we'd cut through the minutia a lot quicker. Let me see. Oh, you racist. I actually am racist, boxing update FE-30. Very racist. I got a lot of love for my race. That nah, I was trying to sound cute, but that didn't sound cute. But no, I'm not racist. Boxing update FE-30. I'm in a conundrum as far as where my affinity lies, because I sound like a white dude in some senses. I look like a Jewish slash like fucking Italian cat, and I happen to be Puerto Rican with black brothers, black grandfather, black family members. I'm gonna edit what you just said. How do you edit, bro? You should teach me how to edit. Like fucking the and I'd actually throw you some bread too, bro. Like fucking put your trollery to good use, bro. Like if you have the skills to edit, I wish I had the skills to edit, bro. But reach out to me via email, bro. New York City is mine. Like, and if I could recruit you to put your skills to good use, bro. Man, I'm being serious, bro. I wish I knew how to edit a video, but I'm gonna edit what you just said. As far as like the race stuff, go ahead, bro. Like fucking. And again, I've put my let me see, New York soft as hell. Yeah, it is. A lot of New York is very soft, bro. My neighborhood got soft. I ain't gonna front one iota. Brooklyn, New York right now is filled with a fucking bunch of gentrifiers and yuppies, fucking pasty white people. Like, New York is extremely soft. But one thing right now, New York is getting a lot worse than what people are telling you on the news. Like New York is filled with mental patients, people that pretend to be mental patients, and people that pretend to be normal, and a bunch of people that'll pop off at any minute. But the people that have moved into New York in recent years, yeah, they are soft as hell. But I could bring you to some terrible places in New York, and I don't think you say that though. But if you're a tourist, I mean, like you should come as far as visiting. That shit is terrible. Actually, in my neighborhood, boxing update FE-30. If you look recently, speaking of tourists, and I think I said this last time, they threw a bitch the onto the subway in my neighborhood. You could probably look it up on it's 36th Street subway station, and I think they stabbed somebody in our other train station, which is 77th Street train station, and I think they stabbed the bitch too. But yeah, I mean, I don't know where boxing update FE-30 you're from. I'm assuming that you're probably from this amalgamation of European trolls that have been running around here. But all jokes aside, though, I mean, like, I hope that you guys, like, regardless of whether you are like FE-30 or whoever have you, fucking I hope you guys aren't locked down like they're doing in New York. And actually, people are saying like New York's locked down right now. It's really not. Like I know a lot of cats that aren't going for that thing, um, that thing. But I know right now dudes are I'm black. I sincerely doubt you're black, bro. But right now they're like not letting certain people. They're not letting people without that thing go into restaurants, which is a big deal because I don't know how to cook for shit, and I know a bunch of people in my circle that don't know how to cook, that are still single, in their late to mid 30s. But a lot of those guys like eat at fast food restaurants all the time, and a lot of people that do know how to cook, even especially in the hood, eat from fucking Burger King or all the time too. Because if you don't have bread to do a whole food shop shit, like fucking, you run into Burger King for like $18, you could feed a family of three. It's not bad. But if all of a sudden you're saying that cats can't fucking go into a store based on a status, that's whack. I'm African mixed with Middle Eastern blood. What part of Africa? Um, no, and I'm only asking because I know a little bit about Africa and what part of the Middle East too. I've actually been to the Middle East a few times. The place where Anthony Joshua fought, I was telling somebody on a stream before where Anthony Joshua and that's not a country, bro. The place where Joshua and this motherfucker, Ethiopia. I hear that. That's West Africa. The place where AJ and Ruiz fought the second time in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I was near where they constructed that the stadium, but I don't even know what the fuck I was just talking about, bro. But let me break out like fucking before I lose my mental. But I hope you guys have a decent time, like fucking with that. I'm gonna finish the rest of my drinks and I'm out. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Peace.